Hey guys, it's Sam. Today's video is going to be about reasons why I use printable inserts instead of inserts that you can have pre-made and sent to you. I have used both varieties over the years, so if you're wondering why I decided to choose printable inserts over pre-made, stick around. Today's video is sponsored by Puffin Pages Co., which is a new company to me, but let me tell you, I turn down 90% of the emails that I get asking about partnerships, and I always go to websites first before I make the decision. And I found several inserts that I was really interested in, so I was like, absolutely yes. So for the next 2 weeks, if you use the code SAMPLANS, you'll receive 20% off. So thank you so much, Puffin Pages Co., for reaching out to me and for the inserts. I'm gonna just get right into it. Reason number one why I choose printable inserts, and the reason why you should not fret if you see this video after the first 2 weeks, is because printable inserts are just cheaper. I have 3 planners here because parts of them are going to come up within the video, but I'm just going to keep my personal open for right now, just to get started with some of my points here. So this is the monthly pages that I have chosen from Puffin Pages Co. And I absolutely love this particular insert because of the fact that it has like minimal lines. With most planner companies, they have a complete rectangle or a complete square, and I kind of love the idea that this one looks like it's floating between the 2 pages seamlessly because it doesn't have those lines on the edges. That's a personal preference. I just was really drawn to this particular insert, so I asked for this one to review. I also have purchased this one again in another size with my own money, and there are a few others that I'm going to be purchasing as well and moving over to a couple of other sizes. So if you order from pretty much any place, I mean, obviously you have the time that the person had to print them out, they have to cut them, they have to invest in the printer, the paper, the ink, the cutter, the hole punch, all of those things. So it's just a fraction of the cost of a printed insert. Plus, you don't have to worry about the shipping. You know and I know that we spend a lot of money on our planners. The binders are expensive. We put a lot of money into decor and all of that stuff. And so just having a place where we can save some money makes a lot of sense to me. So that is reason number one. Reason number two is literally your options are endless. Obviously, all of us have our favorite planner shops. I like to have a really good mix of different shops to choose from. So it's not like you're going to pop in here and see that I have all of one brand in one. I have my favorites from different companies. So far, I just love this clean, minimal design. So this is going forward my favorite monthly. I'm going to be going forward with this one in all of my planner sizes, and I'll be purchasing this again next year. For the last little bit, this has been my favorite weekly insert, and this one is from Peanuts Planner Co. I have certain shops that I love for certain things. Even my dividers are from a shop on Etsy. Some of the shops are on Etsy, some have their own standalone websites, sometimes they have both, and you can also search around to different planner Instagram handles, and sometimes people will have freebies in their Dropbox that you can share and use. I have seen people on Instagram and YouTube share planners that they have put together for completely free, just choosing different shops that they are using. A lot of the shops have their own Facebook groups, and within the Facebook groups you can get a freebie. The weekly that I use from Peanuts Planner Co., this one is a freebie that I use. You paid Adobe to do some changes with the layout and the wording and the font and all of that to make it more my own, but the insert itself is free. And again, not only does that help with the overall cost, I just like that you can pick and choose from all of the things everywhere. This particular section is where I keep my YouTube and any kind of other income that I get in besides my regular 9-to-5 job. Well, 8 to 5 in my case, but still. And this is another one of the ones that I just got from Puffin Pages Co. And I just like that you just have the calendar here, and then you can list the videos in here. There's also a horizontal of the same exact calendar, which I'm actually going to get to go in my pocket because I really like it, but I don't know, I think I'd like the other direction, the horizontal direction, a little bit better in my pocket. I had another insert in here for a while, but I was missing seeing the calendar all up front there, so I switched. And that brings me to the third point. You can easily change your mind. So if you are investing in inserts that come from Planner XYZ company and you're paying $20, $25, $30 for a year of inserts, you realize after you get them that it's not for you, that layout isn't gonna work. Your season of planning changes. You do like I do, and you bounce between wanting to have trackers and all of that or not. When I decide that I don't want a tracker anymore for the week, then I just move to a different insert that is already printed that I can just have with me. And some of the inserts that I choose, I have different options. So one of the ones that I struggle with is a daily. So this is the daily that I chose from Puff and Pages Co. Although I think a lot of the time this one would work beautifully for me, there are other days that I just want a grid piece of paper or a blank piece of paper in my planner so that I can just scratch things down. I have a lot of things that I need to write about, and instead of worrying about staying in the limited lines of things being cut in half on a page, knowing that I can just use the whole page and scratch it all up with a bunch of like brain dumps or shopping lists or what have you is great. So to have all of those options available and to be able to pick and choose what you want in your planner keeps you from planner hopping as much if you have a lot of options open to you, and then it doesn't allow you to become frustrated with your current planning situation if it's not perfect at the moment. The other reason that I like to use them, and this is still in the number 3 because of changing your mind, I really like switching planner sizes, and I don't know why I can't seem to land on one. Forever and ever I was in personal rings and that was my favorite, and this planner went from being the least set up for the year to the most set up for the year rather quickly, and it's been difficult to get away from the size, and it's been difficult to get away from a planner that is the most set up. But as I have entered into summer here, I had thought I was going to move to A6, and then I ended up in Pocket with Pocket Plus inserts, and I just go back and forth. I love the way personal rings feels in my hand. I like that it seems like a substantial enough planner without being too overly large, but I also find myself wanting to carry smaller bags and not wanting to carry that around just in my hands. And so I feel like I'm drawn to Pocket at other times because this fits into a lot more things, and it just weighs less by nature because it's smaller footprint. I love A6 because of the square pages. I feel like you have more room to write side to side, and I just feel like there's a lot of room to play with. In actuality, it's not that much bigger than a personal insert, but you know, sometimes it's just all about what it seems like. So if you compare, I didn't slit these little Moterm brand pages yet. It's a good bit. I mean, it's not an inch, it's maybe a ½ inch. I know the measurements are somewhere, but I don't have them in my head right now. But it feels like it when you're writing because you can get farther over on the page before, and I cut that one wrong, but you can get farther over to the edge of the page while continuing to write. And I just like that more squarish feel as opposed to the rectangle that I've used for so long in personal size. So it just allows the ability to change your mind in so many ways, or just your needs having changed. The next one is going to be probably the biggest factor for me. I don't know about you, but I am not a patient person, and I really like instant gratification. And I feel like a lot of us probably are the same. Everybody wants things as fast as Amazon Prime. It's difficult to wait for things. If you order from a planner shop, unless it's like one of the big brands, chances are this is someone's side hustle and they're not going to get it started within the hour of you purchasing it, and you're going to wait a few days for it to be made or for it to be packed up, and then it has to go in the mail, and who knows how far away it is. I'm in Ohio, but a lot of times I have things coming from California, from Canada, and the wait can be excruciating. So for me, instant gratification is a huge thing on my list. I feel like when I get in the mood to change my planner up, and this is part of the reason why I have held on to covers of so many different sizes throughout the years, when I get it in my head, this is what I want to do, I immediately want to act on it. I immediately grab a piece of paper and I start writing down what I'm using, why I'm using it, writing down my needs, taking inventory of what I've had in my planner in the past, what I didn't like about it or what I liked about it, and I start building. And I know after planning for this many years what will work for me or what won't work for me and what kind of layouts I'm looking for. And when I find the thing, I want to be able to do an instant purchase, immediately get an email link with a download and get to work. There's been a few times where I've taken a day of putting all that stuff together. I will gather things until I feel like I have my whole list fleshed out. I'll take the time to download all the files, put them in the various categories. So sometimes I decide I don't know what I'm going to be in the next couple of weeks, so I'll buy one of every size that I have in my possession, and I'll print them all out and I'll decide which size is feeling right now. And still, a lot of times, unless it's a dated insert, you're going to be spending about $3. So if it's a main part of your planner, putting $9 into it and getting 3 sizes, that's a significant savings over what you would be spending if you were doing a printed insert. But I love doing that. I like gathering all the intelligence and getting all the information, and then I get everything all sorted out and I just start printing. And so sometimes, depending on how new or unfilled the system is, sometimes it can take me a few hours, sometimes it can take me the whole day. But I like to get a lot of stuff printed out all at once. If it's a monthly calendar, I print them all out. I do everything. So I keep a file of all these things. And if you'd like a video about my best tips, how I store and all of those things, put that in the comments below and I'll get to making that video if you guys are interested. But I just like to kind of get all of the work out and done on the front side so that I can just hop in and say, oh, I want this insert right now. Okay, I'll grab it. And usually the only thing that still needs done is slitting the holes. Sometimes I pre-do that too, but more often than not, I just print it, cut it, punch it, and have it ready so that it's not oh, I have all of this work to do. So the instant gratification, for me at least, is a huge deciding factor in why I use printable inserts. And the last one is going to be that they're reusable. Now that's not going to be correct in every situation, because when you buy the dated insert, I personally buy dated inserts as much as possible because I know that I don't like to take the time to date my stuff. And it's just, I don't have enough time. It's not exciting for me to do, and I like it when it's just finished for me. So that is really important. But if it's not dated, then you can reuse these over and over again. This one I punched incorrectly, obviously. I didn't have my holes lined up when I started punching a bunch of stuff. And honestly, I had to redo all of my monthlies, all of the dailies, and several other inserts from Puffin Pages Co. I had to redo them all. And that was a waste of ink and it was a waste of paper. But it was my bad because I didn't make sure it was lined up correctly after moving from one size to another. And yeah, that was a definite my bad. What I usually do, and this would be a tip that I would give to not do this again, and I do it every single time except for that time, is I will print stuff off, I'll cut it, I'll take one page, I punch it, and then I lay it in the planner to make sure that everything lines up correctly and that I haven't missed something. And this time I just got a little too proud of myself and I was like, I got this, I don't need to check, and I lost that time. But the non-dated inserts, you can reuse them forever. I have files on my computer from years and years ago of printables that I'm still using to this day. And if it's a good printable and it works, then there's no reason to not keep using it. You're saving money. I've used this one forever. I've used this one forever. A lot of companies, including Puff and Pages Co., have a lot of calendars, even the monthly calendars, yearly calendars that are undated, and you can continue using them over and over again. If you have more patience than I do and you don't mind dating things, you can spend just a few dollars and have the same insert in your planner for years and years to come. Also, when you mess things up like I did, even if it is a dated one, like I just said, when I printed out this monthly, I had to redo it, and that was very frustrating, and it was late that night, and it did not make me happy, but I wanted to get it done. When you mess it up, you can reprint it. I know that not everybody feels the same way I do, but I get really rough on myself if I think that a page is really ugly or it got stuff on it or whatever. And if it's bad enough of a mistake, I will reprint a dated insert and put that back in my planner and redo the whole thing. And I understand that seems a bit much for some people, but that's just how I'm programmed. And I love that with a printed insert, I can just make that happen. It takes me a few minutes to print out like one particular page and to get it all cut and punched and get it back into my planner. There's so many things that can happen to paper. It just makes me feel better knowing that it's easily replaced. And then I'm going to give you a bonus. So outside of the 5 reasons that I use printable inserts, I have a bonus one for you, and that is that you use whatever paper that you want. Everybody knows that's been with me for a while that I absolutely adore a Hobonichi Weeks layout for my planning. That's not what I'm using currently, as you can see, but I think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that I have used it for so long. I could find that insert that is the closest to the Hobonichi Weeks for me, and there are many of them out there. So I can find the one that is the closest to the Hobonichi Weeks, and I can reproduce it and print it on this paper that doesn't drive me nuts, that doesn't smear, that doesn't struggle with highlighters and all of those things. And I can have the layout that I want without the stress of the paper. So if you are a person who loves the Tomoe River paper, you have Tomoe River paper, you print it off and you put that in your planner and you can have it. If you like nice, thick, bright white paper, you can have that. If you don't want a bulky planner and you decide that you're going to print your inserts on regular copy paper, that's all available to you. I have at my disposal at all times cardstock for dividers, a laminating situation so that I can make my own dividers, and my 28-pound bright white paper that I like to have in my planner at all times. So it's everything that I need, the price that I want, with the option to change things, my instant gratification. It's just, for me, printable inserts is where it's at. And I know that a lot of people are unsure or uneasy about doing it, but I'm promising you, if I can figure this out, you can figure this out. And like I said, if you need tips or would just like to hear my tips for using printable inserts and how I make it work, just leave the comment below. And if I have enough people who are interested, I'll definitely make a video about that. So those are my tips for the day. I'd love to hear your opinions, ideas, thoughts. What are your top reasons for using them? Or even what are your top reasons for not using a printable insert? I'd love to hear from you too, and I might have an idea for how I could help or suggestions to make it easier for you. Thank you so much again, Puff and Pages Co., for sponsoring this video. It's been lovely working with you, and I am excited to continue using your inserts for years to come at my own pace with less money and changing my mind every half hour about what size I'm using. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new around here and don't want to miss out on future videos, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much as always for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye guys.